shall we explore Patrick Anderson's world-class succulent garden north of San Diego?
So, welcome to my garden. I'm Patrick Anderson, and I've been gardening here in Fallbrook for close to 25 years. The entry that we're standing in right now is about 7 years old. This is the only part of the garden that actually had to be put down on paper because it required construction of all of the walls and planters and gates and everything. The rest of the garden pretty much grew organically just from my head.
And Patrick, you seem to like the color orange. Why is that?
I don't know. I got into growing aloes a lot, and that's the color that they bloom predominantly, and it just kind of took on a life of its own, and it went from being just an accent color in the garden to an overriding theme of me and the garden and pretty much everything I wear now.
The whole garden is an adventure. It has meandering pathways to intriguing destinations. Patrick uses a rock that has orange shades in it. I love the way the palm trees frame views. One of the interesting things that Patrick has done is to have a main focal point or a main destination at the top of the slope. And so that's a reason to explore the garden right there. Let's go see this structure. What's it like inside? This is the view of Patrick's garden that you see most in magazines. It seems to be where the photographers start shooting because the lines are so nice. I mean, you have this pathway here that draws you. You can't see everything, so you want to see what's around that curve. You have an interesting metal sculpture as well. This is where I had my epiphany about barrel cactus in 1998. I visited Patrick to do an article about his garden for the San Diego Union Tribune, and I just did not understand the appeal of cactus. So I said to him, "Why would you grow these spiny plants?" And Patrick said, "Stand over here." And he was at another point on the pathway facing west. Sure enough, when I stood over there with him, I could see that the spines on the barrel cactus were beautifully backlit by the sun. They just glowed. Notice how Patrick has repeated the banana yellow of the barrel cactus in the color that he chose to paint the stucco. There are certain vignettes in Patrick's garden. If I saw a photo of them, I'd know immediately that that was Patrick's garden. And isn't that a neat way to make a garden your own? One way to do that is by the garden art you choose and the way you position it. So here's this big metal sculpture. He's allowed aeoniums to grow up through it. And the aeoniums give a nice repetition of the spherical shape of the sculpture and also contrast with it. It's one thing to see an aloe like this in bloom at the nursery, and it's another to know how big it's going to get over time. So this one is probably about 15 years old. Aloe ferox, a tree aloe from South Africa. Blue walls, in front of which he's positioned aloes in bloom. And it's just as simple as knowing that blue is the color complement of orange. But not too many people have the chutzpah to actually paint a wall as a backdrop. And here's another one of his metal sculptures. This is the street side garden. These plants get by on rainfall alone. One of Patrick's secrets is to create these berms and plant in them. The rocks in this garden aren't just boulders, they're not just pea gravel, but there are all sorts of different colors. But what they all have in common is the warm tone. I like the gold decomposed granite.